Well, hey, it's up by 2% from the year before. I'll tell you, the reason I think, and look, you put members of Congress, I'm a guy from Kent Meridian High School. And I'm in this job because I want to serve the people here in Washington State. So I'm as frustrated as you are. A cop likes to solve problems. That's what I did my whole life. So I go back and try to solve problems with people who have political aspirations and political agendas, and they represent districts that have different views. And so you see this headbutting. Congress is a microcosm of this country. And we come back with those ideas and those thoughts, and we represent, and that's the argument, debate, and discussion that takes place. But the problem is, the House of Representatives is a Republican majority. We're passing laws that we think would benefit the country. They're moving on to the Senate. And my opponent just mentioned earlier the inactivity of Congress. It's actually the inactivity of the Senate. The Senate has not taken up 35 plus bills that we have passed in the House. They won't take a vote. And if you can't get a vote past the Senate, it doesn't go to the President. The President doesn't want to see these bills on his desk. He'd have to veto them or sign them. That puts him in a political position he doesn't want to be in. His Democrat friends in the Senate don't want to see that happen either. So that's why there's gridlock in Congress, and I think that's why the people are upset. And our ratings are so low. But what I have done is gone back and tried to work with people. It's something that I've done over my whole life. As I said, I've been a hostage negotiator. I've been a cop for 33 years. I know how to build a team. I know how to bring people together. I know how to solve problems. And we've been successful in some cases. Those of us members who want to work together, Adam Smith and I and others, Maria Cantwell, Patty Murray, we work across the aisle. I worked across the aisle with Ron Kind on the Farm Bill 21, if you want to look it up, Farm 21. That's the kind of work that goes on back in Congress that you don't hear about.
In addition to telemarketers, Congress has a lower approval rating than Lindsay Lohan. That's bad. And while Congressman Reichert talks about working across the aisle and getting things done, here's the reality. This is a Republican-controlled House. They have chosen not to bring the agriculture bill to the floor for debate and vote. They have chosen not to bring the president's job recovery bill to the floor for debate and vote. And for those of us who follow politics inside baseball, on the Senate side, we have cloture. So one senator can secretly put a hold on a bill. They don't even have to show up and say who they are. And that bill doesn't move forward. So let's not kid ourselves. The House of Representatives is responsible for the budget. That is their primary duty. Congressman Reichert sits on Ways and Means. That is their primary focus. And they haven't done their job. They haven't put forth a budget that had bipartisan support. We know, and we've heard from people, Republicans back there, who have said, no tax revenue increase, no tax increase. This congressman who sits next to me made a pledge to a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., Grover Norquist. He took the decision away from all of us as voters in this district in how we choose to manage revenue. If we can't manage revenue, we don't have a budget. So basically, pretty much, if you're not happy with what's going on back there, you need to hold your Congress people accountable. And if you want the same activity that you see now, you will send back the same people. If you want to see change, you will change who you elect.
Thank you, Ms. Porterfield. Congressman Reichert as well.
Thank you. We have passed two budgets in the House. And those are two budgets that get us back on the track to prosperity. You have two choices. You can go down the path to prosperity, or you can go down the path of further spending, further borrowing, and higher taxes. We've been there, we've done that. It's not working. The president presented another budget this year. It's $1.2 trillion more than the revenue we take in. We can't continue to do that. This president and this Democrat Senate, who is blocking the House bills, the budget bills, etc., has presented a budget every year that's been over $1 trillion in the revenue that we take in. And he has spiked our deficit to a point more than any other president in the past, and in fact, more than all presidents in the past combined in the last 4 years. So talk about building a deficit. This administration has done that. And what Republicans are trying to do is to say, you know what, and what I'm trying to do is to say, look, we need to stop spending money we don't have. We've got to quit borrowing from China. And we've got to reform our tax code so that it is a fair tax code, so our businesses can compete, and so our individuals across this country can count on maybe a 10% bracket and a 25% bracket. Wouldn't that be nice? A fairer, simpler, flatter, broader tax code.
Thank you, Congressman.